Hello, lords and ladies of YouTube, and welcome back to Nightly Gaming's Nightly Gaming, and to another installment of our gaming news for the week. So, today I'm going to be talking about some Five Nights at Freddy's news, including Scott Cawthon giving a few hints to the lore. I'm also going to talk about Nintendo and a few changes going on there, and then ending it off with a brief little note about the PlayStation VR headset. So, to start out, we're going to be talking about Scott and Five Nights at Freddy's. So, Scott Cawthon commented using phrases on his website during the Game Theorist live stream that was going on, where they were talking about Five Nights at Freddy's lore and trying to figure out some of the hints and secrets going on. And he posted on his website three screenshots, well, not screenshots, three boxes of text saying the following. The first one said, in the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigame, why would the tiny toy Chica be missing her beak? The second one said, what is seen in shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child. And then the last one is 4 games, 1 story. So I got screenshots of them, and I'm showing those down in the corner. If you want to scroll back and look at them in a little bit more detail, I will be having them all showing. But the point is this is a big step. Not only has Scott finally kind of broken his silence and is now giving us hints to the lore, but they're big clues in my opinion. I'm not 100% sure what they mean yet, but I feel like they're big because they're definitely shoving us in a direction. So he points out a very specific detail of a tiny toy Chica in the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigame, where if you look closely, you can see that they're little toy figures. One little girl is playing with them. It's a little tiny toy figure of the toy dolls, of the toy animatronics, and the Chica is missing its beak. Then it also mentioning the shadows, whether that's talking about the Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy characters, or if it's talking about something happening in the background or in the shadows. That could be a whole different thing. Not to mention, he confirmed 4 games, 1 story. So that's either saying that this is all one continuous event, or it all revolves around one specific character that possibly has appeared in all games that we haven't quite caught on to. So that's interesting little bits of detail. So also, if you look at Scott's website, he also has updated for the new Five Nights at Freddy's World, the RPG game that he's going to be releasing based with Five Nights at Freddy's characters. It's not related to the main storyline games. He said there's not going to be Five Nights at Freddy's 5. That's 100% confirmed. That he doesn't plan on continuing those, and that this game doesn't necessarily relate to that main storyline. He also has commented that he's not going to have a demo out around Halloween like he was hoping. So we're going to have to wait longer for a demo of any kind on that. And also, if you look at the character models, they are much more kind of cutesy, kind of toon-like, much less, just straight like horror kind of characters like he's been going for. So he says it's just kind of a passion project of his. He wants to make an RPG, and we'll see how that goes. So it's definitely interesting. He was updating it throughout the stream, things like that. It was amusing to watch Matt, Pat, and all the other people on Game Theory kind of be amazed by what was going on as it was happening. It was quite entertaining. But that's that for Five Nights at Freddy's news. Moving along, we have Nintendo announcing a new president and also reforming some of the structure of the company. So their new president is a man by the name of Tatsumi Kimishima, I believe is how it's pronounced. He was the former CEO of the American branch, not president, CEO, but most recently has been a managing director for the company. He has worked with the company for many years, is fairly experienced, so it'll be interesting to see how he does. It's going to be hard to fill Iwata's shoes, but we will see how it goes. He's not really known for his public speaking. He usually, he doesn't do a whole lot of the press, and he doesn't do a lot of gimmicky stuff, like the YouTube channel videos, things like that. So I'm wondering if there's going to be someone else who's going to take over for him in that category, but we're not sure of that yet. But it's also been mentioned that it's possibly only temporary for him to be president, that he might be kind of filling the gap while they look around and try to figure out what they want to do. as of right now, he's the official president of Nintendo. So congratulations to Tatsumi Kimishima. I really hope that he does a great job. Big fan of Nintendo. Let's hope it goes well. In terms of the other restructuring of the company, there has been a few things. So, for example, Shigeru Miyamoto and Genyo Takeda, are now known as the Creative Fellow and Technology Fellow, respectively. So they are no longer any kind of directors or anything like that. They have been given this new title of Fellow, which, according to Nintendo, a Fellow is an individual selected from among the representative directors who has advanced knowledge and extensive experience, and holds the role of providing advice and guidance regarding organizational operations in a specialized area. So they sound like they're still going to have some kind of role in the company, but it sounds like they're more or less advisors now rather than having direct control over anything. So they're going to be, maybe during the next iterations of games, they'll be advising the new directors, but not being able to directly say, this is what I want. Do this. We should do this instead. Hey, here's this. They'll be pitching ideas. They'll be making suggestions and things like that, but they will not actually have any direct say. At least that's the kind of idea I'm getting out of it, which is interesting but not totally unexpected. Shigeru Miyamoto, especially, he is a great creative mind that has created many of Nintendo's great series and really is what got Nintendo to the giant influence that they are. But with that said, Shigeru Miyamoto is also kind of a creative loose cannon, meaning that he is very creative, has great ideas, but sometimes those ideas are little far out there and don't quite make sense or don't mesh. And we've heard stories about how other Nintendo employees have had to kind of reel in his creative process into something that's a bit more functional. But even so, it's still sad. But I hope they have more say in the company than I'm getting out of this message. But in terms of actual structuring of the company, Nintendo is also merging two of their two big development teams. So the Entertainment Analysis and Development team and the Software Planning and Development teams are now officially merging together into the Entertainment Planning and Development team, which is now has a new director of Shinya Takahashi, who was the former director of the Software Planning and Development team, so they didn't just get rid of the directors of both of them. So it's still in the hands of a proven development team director, so that's good. But I'll be interested to see how the fusing of the two big teams goes, whether or not they're going to be working just bigger team on a single individual project, or if they're going to split off people within the same team into developing different projects, which would slow down their development cycle, unless they're replacing it with other new teams, but they haven't really talked about yet. But we will see. Hopefully we still get, plenty of great Nintendo games. We know the quality is still going to be up there because Shinya Takahashi, like I said, is the director of the former Software Planning and Development team and has done a great job in there. So we will see how that goes. Last little bit of news from Nintendo is they have mentioned that the new Star Fox game for Wii U will be delayed until the beginning of 2016 in order to make the game a bit more polished. They said that they want to work on making the dual screen much more of a natural experience and making a much smoother gameplay. So they thought they would be able to release it in time, but they want to do some fairly major tweaks to some of the things still from what we've seen, keeping the core gameplay there, but doing some major tweaks. And because of that, they do not believe they will be able to get it out by the holiday season, and therefore are delaying it. It's sad and unfortunate that they're delaying the game longer, but it sounds like they are doing it for a good reason in order to make the game better. And most people, especially Nintendo fans, would agree we'd rather have a better game than just the game shoved out the door to be on schedule. So that's a little unfortunate, but it is happening nonetheless, and we will just have to wait and see how the new Star Fox game turns out. I'm admittedly not the hugest of Star Fox fans, but the game is still looking fairly interesting to me, and is definitely something to keep on your radar for the beginning of 2016. So that's it for Nintendo news. After that, we are moving on to the PlayStation VR, which is the VR headset developed by Sony to go along with their PlayStation 4. So they have announced a little bit of information on it. So they have said that the VR headset is going to be priced, and I quote, as a new gaming platform. So whether or not that means that they are planning on charging around the same cost of of a actual gaming console, maybe somewhere in the $300 to $400 range, maybe plus. That will have to be seen. They did not give any specific numbers. That is all that they have said about it. But it'll be interesting to see how that pricing goes because they're probably assuming that people are already going to have a PlayStation 4 in order to run the headgear. But the thing is that's now quite a substantial cost if you don't already have the PlayStation 4. You're now essentially buying two consoles in order to play the games. Whereas, like the Oculus Rift connects to a gaming PC, which most of the people who would be interested in an Oculus Rift are already going to have a gaming PC that has the ability to process that. And it sounds like it's probably going to be in the same range in terms of cost. So we'll have to see how well that goes over. One of the good things about the PlayStation VR is it is going to have. They have said that they are going to have more than 10 launch titles in 2016. So when it launches in 2016, there will be more than 10 games at launch. So that is quite exciting. The question is the extent of those games. Are they small little not necessarily party games, that's kind of hard to do with the VR headset. But are they going to be small scale games to just kind of show off like what the hardware can do, or are they going to be full blown games where you're going to be able to actually play through them effectively? So that we'll have to wait to see how that turns out. But that is all the gaming news I have for today. So if you guys have any comments on things that I should have talked about, things you want to hear me talk about, questions, or asking me about my opinions on things, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button. If you want to see more from me, check out the channel to see my previous videos, and subscribe to see future ones. I do one video every night. I also do the gaming news every Sunday, as well as a Kickstarter roundup I have started officially doing on Saturdays. So if you want to keep up with that, make sure to click the subscribe button. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.